Okay, let's all take a breath here. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Take another deep breath in. And exhale out. Okay. Okay, I think 7. Okay, yes, that's a great idea. All right. Welcome to Care Circle Sunday, everyone. And if you are new and this is your first time, you picked a good Sunday to join us because this is our workshop Sunday. So it's the fourth Sunday of every month. And we have a facilitator leading in a topic that, we'll feel called to offer to our community. And so today we have Reverend Laura Hallett. Woohoo! Yes, and She's an amazing teacher. She's a teacher of teachers. She teaches a lot of the ministerial courses for Centers for Spiritual Living. And she has a book that she's finishing up on how to teach. So we have a great instructor with us today. And consciousness, as she's a senior minister at Greater Las Vegas Centers for Spiritual Living. So she's all the way out here in this cool weather here from Las Vegas. So welcome. So the Care Circle Sundays are a workshop format. We work in groups, we do dyads, and Laura's brought lots of fun stuff for us today to do some artwork and some internal work all around prosperity. So before we begin, just a few things to take care of. If you parked in our parking lot, it's tandem parking, so we have little pieces of paper that you can put on your dash with your phone number that tells us if you're parked behind somebody, we can call you. So for now, we're asking you to turn your phone off during service, but after service, if you could turn your phone on so that if we need to call you to let you know you're parked behind someone. So just check your phones, make sure they're off. I gotta check mine as well. Here it is. There we go. Okay. All right. So a few announcements. Next Sunday, we are so excited. Next Sunday, we are doing Practitioner Core Sunday. So our Practitioner Core is going to lead the Sunday service. I will help facilitate a panel. And the Practitioner Core, if you don't know anything about our practitioners, you will know more about them by the end of our service next Sunday. And you're going to hear Reverend Juanita share her powerful journey as a practitioner. I will lead a panel of Debbie Ann, Janice, Jesse, and Valerie, 4 of our practitioners. So the practitioners are going to explain what they're doing as far as the bowls, the setting and the attention. And so you have a clear vision of what our practitioners do. Because we go through service every Sunday, and I don't think we realize that they are actually practitioners doing these things and why they're doing it, to hold the space and create a space for us to have service. So that is next Sunday, and what's great about it is 2 things. You're going to you can have a free session with a practitioner. Next Sunday, we're going to have sign-ups in the back of the room. Today and next Sunday, and in the newsletter, you can sign up for a free session with the practitioner. And as well, if you're interested in being a practitioner and you're kind of curious, what is this thing called practitionership? Reverend Juanita, Amazing Consciousness, Reverend Juanita here and I are going to be leading a half an hour, 45-minute class introduction to practitioner to let you know what it's all about so that you can have the information. We'll give you a list of classes that are needed. We'll send you to the website in case you have questions. So we'll answer all your questions about what is this thing called practitioner. Okay? So we're really excited about that for next week. Also next week, it's a great combination. We're going to have Potluck Sunday, so bring a dish next Sunday. The first Sunday of every month is Potluck, so please bring a dish to share. And we will not be having our Care Circle follow-up in August. We're dark for the month of August. A lot of people on vacation, so look for the future classes on Wednesday nights. And then our Soul Sisters group discussion. This is a powerful group of women that get together on the first Saturday of the month. Dory and Florette. Are you Dory and Florette's here? And Dory's usually on Zoom, so she's here. Hi, Dory. There she is. Yes. So they lead this great discussion group. If you're looking for support and are struggling in any way during these times, it's a great way to just connect with other women and have a discussion in a safe and confidential place. It's on Zoom. It's the first Saturdays, okay? And you can see, check the newsletter, the QR code, or the website for more information. All right, so we're going to move into our workshop format, and we do the care model here. The care model means that we put people before the process or people before the project. We want to make sure that you're okay and in a good place. We start with, what is a word of good today? So I want you to turn to let's just go around each one person, take a turn in your circle, and share a word of good, a word of good. And go ahead. Right. Did you get around? Okay. Did everybody get around? Okay. Did you get around? Okay, good. Very good. Okay. Okay. All right, let's take a deep breath in and let it out. So the next part of our care model is, do you have any heaviness of heart or hardness of head that could be in the way of you being present here during our workshop? So if you have any heaviness of heart or hardness of head that you think would be in the way of you being present, please share it with your facilitator, and then we'll do prayer, okay? Okay, thank you. And when you are ready, thank you, Lorraine. If you can just raise the facilitator, raise their hand when your group is ready. Probably use that microphone. Yes. Okay. And then if we can, once again, if your group is complete, have your group facilitator raise your hand if your group is complete. 2, 3. Okay, and I think we have one more group, okay? Okay, just breathing in and holding the space for everyone who's feeling that heaviness of heart, just holding the space for them.
Okay, but today I had an argument with somebody who I don't agree with as far as just being generous in general. And it got kind of really testy. And he offered to come with me today and say,
And if you want, you could even go into prayer for right now for your group, just being in that prayerful place of holding space.
so that's I initiated.
I'm just wanting you to hold space right now while they're finishing over there. So I'm trying to keep a prayerful space. Yeah, just holding a prayerful space. Okay, everybody finished? Okay, so Janice is going to do our prayer today. We'll start with group 1. Two? Are you group 1? Group 1, if you can share with Janice what you needed prayer for?
Yes, Eileen is looking for some peace around her. She has 2 sisters that are struggling with dementia. And so for them, health, wholeness, clarity, and for Eileen, peace. Chuck had a really good friend named Ed pass away this week. And he's known Ed for 30 years. So there's a lot of sadness there. Erin would like prayer for balance and boundaries. Erin's got a lot on her plate with projects and lots of tasks that need to be complete. So she's looking for some balance and then also some just holding her boundaries when it comes to relationships. And then for Beth, Jen is looking for a smooth transition because Beth is in Mexico and she's going to be moving houses. And just want everything to go smoothly. Thank you.
For Don, he would like more energy. And for me, I would like support on being enough.
There is an overarching theme for peace. There was, it was communicated that somebody has a heaviness of heart around authoritarian dictatorships. Someone else shared having an aggressive neighbor with extreme political views. Someone else is entering retirement, and so navigating through that. And someone else shared having a friend who was supposed to show up but didn't show up today. And someone else had a testy argument with someone close. So I think some peace around all of this would really help.
Thank you. Do you have your group?
In our group, we have some physical challenges that we'd like prayer for. We have long to-do lists that are causing stress and challenging family relationships as well.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Good morning, everyone. We have a few prayers requests here. Andrea is the number 1 prayer requester here. Prayers for her cousin Jimmy, for self-love, for the people of Gaza, for those being detained and separated from their families, and for her father's health. And just generally speaking, I think a prayer for just care, love, and peace.
Thank you.
For Lauren, we have a request for being exhausted, for exhaustion, physically and emotionally. For Leanne, just being overwhelmed.
Thank you, everyone, for your vulnerability and willingness to share. And Tori, yes.
Dory would like prayer for her baby girl, her dog, who just has a few physical ailments right now. So she'd like prayer for her pet's wellness.
Thank you. Thank you, Dory.
Are we good? All right, if we could all just take a deep centering breath, bring our attention fully to this room, to this group of friends, as you sit shoulder to shoulder with members of this community. Just feel how blessed we all are to be present right here, where we feel comfortable enough to bear our concerns, bear what is challenging in our life right now. And I'm going to begin this prayer as I'm going to end this prayer, and that is knowing fully and completely that God is all there is, regardless of how anything appears. There is no place that you can go, no place that you can even conceive that is absent from the presence of God. Our life experience twists and turns, and sometimes it can appear that there is a lack of presence, but that is never the case. Never the case. Our omnipresent God is in, throughout, and always supporting us throughout everything. Earlier this week, I had the privilege of going to a memorial service for Reverend Margie Clark, who was present here as one of our ministers several years ago. And one of the things that was said during that memorial, I'm going to share with you this morning, is Margie used to say that she would always see and recognize the presence of God throughout everything. And she would giggle and say, well, look how God showed up today. And that has stuck with me, and I will continue to carry that as we go through our list of how God has shown up today, knowing that the truth is that God is absolutely involved, and never are we vacant from that. I know this to be true throughout our physical challenges, emotional, mental, all that was expressed today in and around physical challenges, what appears to be a lack of energy, knowing that that is only an appearance during our limited human experience, but knowing the truth of vitality, of physical well-being, of complete abundant wellness. That is who we are. That is our birthright. I am so grateful to know that even with the most challenging of our to-do lists, of challenging, conflicting life agendas pulling us in different directions, that through that human experience, beneath it all, there is the undercurrent of peace. It is always there. It is always a breath away for us to claim, for us to walk in, for us to feel, and to own. I am grateful to know that even with our most challenging family challenges, whether that be with trying to care for a family member that is having a difficult time, having a challenging relationship where there's conflicting agendas or priorities, through it all, this is the richness of our beautiful life experience. we get to work through, we get to show up, we get to look and experience how God is showing up in our life, and just be at peace with it, knowing that it is unfolding as it should, even if it is unclear to us why or how. I am grateful to know that throughout all of our stages of life, having the beautiful gift of having a career that has been a rich, fulfilling part of our identity, that the new chapter and adventure that comes from retirement, stepping into something new, enabling us to have something that is unplanned, that is a gift. That is how God is showing up right now. And that is exciting. And I am also aware that even with the beauty of friendship, also comes the difficulty when there is a loss, whether that loss be through a transition of life into something other beyond, a transition of our friends moving to new places as we watch our friends, and they themselves go through the transition of moving. God is present in all of that challenge, that unique adventure, that new chapter that awaits, that is ever unfolding, and that spark of joy is right there, right in the middle of it. Even if it can be blocked by the sun from time to time, it burns bright. And I am so grateful to understand that the collective I in each one of us, I am enough. I always have been, and I always will be. And that is my truth, and that is the truth of every single person that I have ever met or ever will meet. We are enough. Always have been. Oh, yeah. And this one's a tough one because it includes everything, political challenges in our life. They are real, they are felt, and it is sometimes a really difficult thing to navigate, and knowing I'm having trouble seeing how God has shown up here. But we need to understand and take in faith that there is no place that God is not. No place. And it is a hard one to accept, but if it is true everywhere. And sometimes just knowing that it might exceed our ability to fully understand, but stand in that spark, stand in that light of knowing that that which is the truth is unfolding, the lessons that are being learned are ours to accept and to grow from. This is our life, this is our experience, and it is throughout all infused with God. And our friends, whether they be canine, furry, they're all part of God, they're all part of love. And I'm going to end this with just that deep-rooted. Feel it with me, please. Feel who you are. Feel that your feet on the ground, your shoulders next to the people next to you, breathing in this amazing Seal Beach weather, this crisp air. We are, all of us, walking and enjoying this life experience. It is ours. And please join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Janice. Thank you. Okay, so as we move into our workshop, we have covenants that we ask each participant to adhere to create a safe and confidential space. And so the main thing is that we speak from the I. So if you are sharing with a partner or in your circle, please speak from your experience using I statements, and please refrain from speaking about they or them or someone specific. We are taking responsibility by speaking from the I statements, and that we practice non-judgment as we are listening to others, and even of ourselves, that we are practicing non-judgment and listening with an open heart. And in our listening practice, that we are listening and present to those who are sharing through nodding your head or just showing that you are paying attentiveness and mindful to the person in your group that's sharing. So this is a way that we create a sacred and confidential and safe space for all of us to go deeper into our practice. Okay, so now I'm excited to invite Reverend Laura up as she teaches her Abundance Reimagined. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you all. I have to tell you, I'm just so thrilled to be back here. When you guys were in Long Beach at Namaste there, I spoke there 3 or 4 times and did a couple workshops, and so it's wonderful to come back and see friends that I haven't seen in a long time. And I have to tell you, you all are blessed. First off, having Reverend Bobby to lead you in the beginning. Oh, my Lord. She was a colleague of mine in ministerial school, one of my dearest friends. I just love her. And now you are so blessed to have Reverend Veronica here with you. And this amazing practitioner corps, you guys are in good hands. This is wonderful to see. So as Reverend Veronica said, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been there. Now, most people get a little shocked over this. I've been there 48 years, so I know Las Vegas. I moved there as a teenager, but I didn't find Centers for Spiritual Living until 2005. It was 1 block away from UNLV. I have 2 degrees from UNLV. I never saw that church because I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it, and it doesn't appear to us until we're ready. It had been there since 1963. I drove by it almost every day, never noticed it. Until a friend asked me to come and help her set up a computer system for the new bookstore. And that's what started me on there. So the church that I lead now is my home church. It's where I started as a beginning student and a practitioner, and I was there during ministerial school. I left for a few years. I went to St. George, Utah. I was the senior minister there for 3 years, and then I was in Denver, Colorado at our home office for a year and a half. And so after the pandemic, I felt the call to go back home. And so that's where I returned, and it just happened that the minister was retiring, and so it was a perfect fit for it. So I love our movement for one real big reason. I love spiritual practices. And I love finding all of the different kinds of spiritual practices that we can do to help us clear away the crap that's in our lives that has stopped us from experiencing the fullness of life. Because as it was said in the prayer, as you've known in much of the work that Reverend Bobby and Reverend Veronica have taught you, you are already it. Everything that you need is already fully present inside of you. We just have layers and layers of stuff that we need to clear away. So our founder, Ernest Holmes, calls this, a lot of this stuff, our race consciousness ideas. I don't really like that word so much because people often get into the race part of it instead of the consciousness part of it. And by race, he meant human race, not a particular ethnic group that might be present. But he was very clear about this, that these race consciousness ideas exist out there, and we are subject to them. I like the way that Joel Goldsmith talks about it. He calls it mortal mind. He says, this is mortal mind. This is our ego's mind. Now, I was just reading a book, or listening to a book as I was driving here, and it was a book written about Mary Magdalene, and the book of Mary Magdalene from the Gnostic Gospels. And she says in there, this is what Jesus had told her, was that the soul can see the ego, but the ego cannot see the soul. And so what happens is we have all of these things that are in our world that our ego is drawing into. Now, our soul knows the higher truth, but the ego is so active and so demonstrative all the time that it kind of overshadows the things that the soul knows. And so I look for spiritual practices that help me clear that stuff away, to clear that away out of my life. And so I actively go out and gather spiritual practices. When I was in college to become a teacher, one of my professors said that teachers need to practice dynamic eclecticism. And so I took that to heart. Now, some people would call it hoarding, but I take exception to that. Although, if you looked at my craft room, you would say hoarding anyway. But so this idea of actively going out and finding these wonderful spiritual practices, because I think that spirituality transcends any religion ever. I mean, religion is the rules that somebody came up with to control people, as far as I'm concerned. Spirituality, that's about knowing God. That's about knowing who we are. And so that's what I love about it. So thank you. So I'm very creative. I love to get into creativity. In fact, if you look at my website, the tagline on there is living and loving life at the intersection of spirituality and creativity. And so that's how I am. And so it's always finding these things, creating these new ways of doing things. And so last October in my community, I decided to do my theme for the month was on abundance and prosperity. And so I decided, as a bonus for my community, I was going to send out an email with a different spiritual practice every day of the month to clear away our stuff about money, to clear away our ideas and beliefs about prosperity, about abundance, about our relationship with it. And so I did that, and it was very well received. And I had a couple of people say, this needs to be a book, and so, hey, let's make it a book. So in January, I published a book called Mindfulness and Money Magic, 31 days, 31 ways to magically, mystically, and mindfully bring prosperity into your life. And so that's what this workshop is based on. So what I'm going to take you through today is, I think, 4 different processes to help you identify some of those hidden beliefs, find things that will help you remember the truth about it, and then take you through a process to create new neural pathways in your brain to help bring that all together and so that you can experience that in a greater way. Now, you may notice you had clipboards and markers. So you got clipboards, markers, pens, and crayons. And you know what? They're brand new crayons. Have you opened them and smelled them yet? I taught elementary school for way too many years. I know all about smelling crayons. So we are going to use that. You have a little handout, a little worksheet that's 2-sided. We will use that a bit. Looks like this. You have that on your clipboard, and then you have a piece of cardstock. So we'll get to the cardstock a little bit later here. So first thing I'd like you to do is to think about some of those old, what we might call wives' tales that you know about money. Like, for instance, the one that most people think of is the love of money is the root of all evil. We know that's not true. Well, maybe the love of money is, but not money itself. Most people equate that with money as evil. So think about some of those things that you grew up with, that you may have heard. Maybe you don't believe it now, but just things that you've heard. And just go around in your circle and share, if you have one of those things, with each other. One of those ideas about money that you grew up with.
You have to work hard for this. I would say work hard. I grew up on a farm. You have to work hard.
To this here. Okay, let's wrap that up. You ready? Great. Okay, let's hear from everybody a little bit. What was one thing in this group that stood out? What was? Money doesn't grow on trees. All right, how about this group? It's noble to not have enough money. Ooh. Yeah. How about this group? One thing. Okay. Conflicting messages about money. Wonderful. How about this group over here?
A penny saved is a penny earned.
A penny saved is a penny earned. Wow. Okay, how about this group? One thing.
The top one, the first one, I should say, is that you have to work hard for money.
You have to work hard for money. Good. And this last group up here, or maybe the first group here? Do you think I'm made of money? All right. Every teenager has heard that. Okay, so let's just set that stuff aside. If you were to set an intention for yourself for money, what would that be? So when we set intentions, we actually try to phrase those in a positive way. It's almost like we're writing an affirmation, and affirmations have the 4 Ps. They are positive, powerful, present tense, and personal. So we make I statements. We make it as happening right now. We make it as positive as we can, so never any of those words like not or won't. And then we make powerful words, words that, I call them juicy words, words that when you say them, you feel something. So think about what it is you would like to experience in any area of money right now, anything about money that you have. And on that first few lines on your paper there, set yourself an intention for what you would like to experience after attending this workshop here. What would you like to have as your experience of money?
Can you say those 4 Ps again?
Positive, so no negative words. Personal, so you make I statements. I will, I am. Well, not I will, that's not present tense. I am, I have, I know. Those kind of words where you're using a personal pronoun, a first person pronoun. Personal, powerful. So good, juicy words. Magnificent. I like this word, opulent or flourishing. Those are good, juicy words. And then, let's see, present tense, personal, powerful, present tense. Okay, I've lost them now. Personal, present tense, powerful, positive, yes. Okay. And you can make this what you might even feel like is outlandish. It won't hurt a thing. Like stretching yourself a little bit. It's like doing that pose in yoga that you never thought you could do. And probably never want to do again. And facilitators, when you see that everyone has written theirs, would you go around the circle and have everybody read their statement aloud? And if it's something that's too personal for you to read aloud, just say, I pass, and that's perfectly fine. But there's something really powerful about claiming it for yourself.
I am generous.
Yes, and have everybody in your group go around and read their statement. But they're welcome to pass if they want to.
I experience an overflow of money every day. The more
Yes.
I am,
Yeah. Yeah.
I am at ease with our money situation. We are amazingly abundant, knowing we have enough to keep us, I don't want to say comfortable, but better, what's a juicy word? Thriving? Thriving throughout our life. Thank you. You're welcome. But also like flourishing too. Oh, yeah.
I know you can receive
oh, that's great. I wrote down, I am comfortable with my relationship with money and relaxed in my financial abundance. How did that all feel saying those statements? It's nice to share. It's fun to hear. Yeah, they did. That's our affirmation.
That's why you start with the affirmations.
Statement feel like a statement here and a reality here. I'm leaving it all. That's how it's a continuum. That's right.
You know, it's like where you're starting, but this is where you're going.
That's right.
But you have to say, this is where I am.
Right. That's what you're doing. Present tense.
I already
Okay, facilitators, raise your hand when your group is finished, so I can tell. Thank you. You can put them down, Mike. I know you too. You can put your hand down now. Are you finished? Okay. Okay, all right, gotcha. Are you guys finished? Okay, complete. Just one more group. Oh, no, they're just sharing among themselves right now. Yeah. They're just finishing up their circle. Okay, let's wrap those last comments up there so we can move on. Okay, so in the next section of our worksheet there, we're going to look at, I have some prompting questions. I'm going to give you 5 minutes only. Read through those questions and just on the lines below that, just journal about anything that comes up for you around those beliefs that we talked about a few of them at the beginning there, the things that we've heard in the society that we've grown up in. But, what did you learn from your family about money? What kind of hidden beliefs have you internalized about that? What has influenced you most in your life around money? And, I love that fifth question. Is talking about money taboo? It's like, we don't talk about money, politics, and religion. How's that working out for us right now in the world? So what is it you've learned and internalized about that? Just take 5 minutes only. I'm going to time you for 5 minutes to journal about any of those questions, anything that comes up for you about your belief around money. have 2 minutes left. And so let's finish up that final thought. Sure. Okay, so let's just put your pen down. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just breathe into that right now. Because some of these feelings that we have are kind of heavy. And they weigh on us. So just let yourself relax, let your shoulders drop. In fact, bring your shoulders blades back, almost touching them together, because that opens up your chest cavity. When we get constricted with ideas, we close in, and it's hard for us to breathe. It's hard for our hearts to beat. So open up your shoulders. Allow an expansive place inside of your chest to happen. This is the physical part of it, where we actually begin to allow the movement of energy to flow through our bodies. It wants to flow naturally, and it flows in abundance if we allow it to. So whenever you feel constricted, throw your shoulders back, open up your chest, and take in a deep breath. All right, and flip your paper over. Okay, as I said, we can make statements that help begin to change our thinking. As our founder said, change your thinking, change your life. That was shocking to me the first time I ever heard that. You mean my thinking has something to do with what's out picturing in my life? Never thought about that before. But it's what happens. And so if we can begin to shift our thinking, we're going to spend the rest of the workshop about shifting our thinking here around money, because we are constantly being affected by those world beliefs, by our own experience with money, by everything, all the cumulative effect of all of that stuff that's happened to us. Joel Goldsmith describes it this way. He says, we're swimming in the ocean. And as we're swimming in the ocean, everything that's around us can touch us. And those of you that have been in the ocean, you ever had anything touch you in the ocean? It's kind of an unnerving experience. And if we think about like the pollution that's happening in our oceans right now, and we're swimming in that, and it's bumping up against us, whether we're aware of it or not, because we're in the ocean. But if we can get ourselves onto an inner tube or a surfboard, God help us, if we get ourselves onto a surfboard or an inner tube and we're floating, well, guess what? Some of that stuff is still bumping up against us, but we can see it now. And so we can take steps to avoid it. We can, paddle away from it and so forth. And eventually we can get ourselves into a boat where, that stuff's still happening, but we have risen above it. We still see it out there in the world, but it no longer affects us. As they say in the Bible, none of these things come nigh my dwelling place, because I don't dwell in this world. I dwell in a world of spiritual truth. And so this next section is about reminding ourselves of spiritual truth. What do you know about abundance and prosperity in this world? Anybody? What do you know? What are you pretty sure about or have internalized some way? Yes? It changes. Prosperity changes. Abundance changes. Fluctuates. Yes? It's a circle. Right. What else do you know about it? What do you know about God and abundance? Is God limited? No. God is an infinite flow of abundance constantly happening. That's a truth. That's a spiritual truth.
Compound interest is remarkable.
Compound interest is remarkable. All right.
My definition of abundance and prosperity will always be, it'll actually always be bigger than my first.
Great. And how do you feel about that stuff? Are you like open to the experience of prosperity? Do you really mean that? Okay. Or does it? What did you say? I'm sorry, what were you saying again? I went on to something else, I forgot.
So abundance and prosperity will always be bigger than my first answer.
Abundance and prosperity is always bigger than his first answer about it. Okay. Yes? No given number means prosperity. When we begin to actually put our attention onto spiritual truth, things really begin to change in our lives. If even in the back of my mind, it's niggling at me that there's a limit to my good, then my good's always going to be limited. I can be saying all of the words I want to say out of my mouth, but if it's niggling at the back of my mind, my thinking is still limited, then I'm not going to be experiencing it much. So in this section, we want to write down some of those spiritual truths. And again, these can be as affirmations, so positive, personal, present tense, and powerful. So find those things that you can say to yourself to remind you when you are feeling stuck or limited. When you're feeling any of those things that you journaled about 5 minutes ago, if any of that information comes up for you, what can you say to yourself? What spiritual truth can you remind yourself? I live in an infinite universe. Abundance is my birthright. Whatever that is for you, whatever it feels like for you, begin to formulate some of those statements that actually spark a little emotion in you. You had your hand up? Oh, I'm sorry, Chuck. Beautiful. So spirit is his source, and it is a conduit for the flow of abundance into his life. As we breathe into spirit, as we feel spirit expanding our chest, as we open up to it, spirit abhors a void. It is always looking for a place to flow into action. So when we open up to it, it rushes in. So find that. Find those words that make you open up. Find those words that make you feel like you are... everything is possible for you is around abundance. So take a few moments and just write down 4 or 5. If you're having trouble, share in your group, and maybe what someone else said will resonate with you. Yes? Powerful, personal, positive, present tense. Yeah. I have to say them all together or I forget which ones they are. Okay, I know some of you are still writing. That's fine. What I want you to do is very succinctly share one of your statements with your group, because that might resonate with somebody else that would want that too. So go around quickly in your group, share one statement very succinctly, no backstory, no explanation, just the statement. Real quickly, go around your group.
We are growing in abundance.
All my life, I've accessed both prosperity and abundance.
Money isn't sketchy, the future so will always be. Very good with words.
And facilitators, raise your hand when your group is finished. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, let's bring that to a close because we need to move to the next fun part. Got to have the fun in there. All right, so if anything occurs to you that you want to add later on, or you hear somebody else say something, that's you practicing dynamic eclecticism. Go out and gather it and, steal it from them. I mean, it's good. If it resonates with you, you can use it. Okay, get out your card stock. Need your card stock. And you need your Sharpie. Get your card stock and the Sharpie. Okay. Okay, I'm going to demo this before I want you to do it, so don't put your pen to the paper yet. If I was teaching third graders, I'd tell them to sit on their hands. Okay, so watch me first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cardstock, and I've got my marker, and I want to bring to mind those limiting beliefs. I just want to think about them for just a second. Let them come to my mind. All those things that I've been told through my life, all those things that I thought were real that weren't, bring that into my mind. And then I'm going to take 3 seconds. This is very quick. 3 seconds. And I'm going to scribble on this paper. So I'm going to bring them to my mind. All right. Now it's just, that's it. All right. So bring those limiting beliefs to your mind. Bring all those things to your mind. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And that's all the time you have to scribble. You're scribbling. Just to scribble. Okay? You're scribbling out your limiting beliefs. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3. That's all you can scribble. Yeah, stop. Okay. So I was thinking things like having money is hard. I get money and then it's always gone. I never can hold on to money. Those were the things that were going through my head. So now I want to add to this my positive thoughts. I'm going to add my affirmations to this. And I'm going to do this very deliberately and very purposefully by saying those affirmations as I draw a conscious line. So it looks something like this. God is my source. I am fully abundant. There is no limit in my life. I can have all I want. All I want is always available to me. So read your statements and draw some conscious lines over the scribble. Sure. So I had my scribble and then I drew, as I was saying my lines, I drew a very slow, conscious line as I was saying my affirmation. It's a scribble. So what we've done, so here's I forgot to show you my images. Here's the scribble. That was my hidden beliefs. And then now I'm adding my conscious lines over it. Conscious lines, so slow and deliberate as you're saying those affirmations. Do they have to be straight? Nope. Whatever you want them to be. They do need to cross over the scribble, though. And you're welcome to take up the whole page. Okay, now in this next part, we're going to work with using that hidden belief and the affirmations that we've used to reframe that, and we're going to look at where they intersect. So where a conscious belief line crosses one of my hidden belief lines, there's an intersection. So for instance, I've got a nice one right here where this scribble that was going this way intersects with the pointed one going this way. Wherever they intersect is a conflict. That's where our hidden beliefs meet our spiritual truth that we know. That's what's going on inside of us right now that's stopping us from experiencing prosperity. The conflict, I know. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. And the way we fix it is we smooth it out. We smooth out the intersection. Where is it? We're going to use we're going to use the black marker still, and wherever there's an intersection, we're going to round the corners. So on mine, it looks something like this. I'll do one real quickly here. And I really want to pay attention to rounding those corners, making them so that I like to think of it, I do a lot of crafts. And so where I have sharp edges on crafts, things get stuck. So I don't want any sharp edges. So as I'm smoothing it out, this is really bad. I would take more time with it. But as I'm smoothing that out, I'll go around here. I want to smooth out all those corners. I want to round it out. Everywhere there's a corner, where the two lines intersect, it makes a corner. Round it out. Make it nice and smooth. Now, you're probably not going to be able to do all of them, but do 2 or 3. Smooth it out. Nice and smooth. And you can make it nice and smooth, too. You'll put dots over them. You can do however you want. Smooth out the conflict. You are. Creativity and spirituality intersect and life blossoms. That's what I like. That's a great quote. Continue to smooth for a moment while I talk. So this process is called neurographics or neurographica. It comes from Russia, from a Russian psychologist. I've done about 3 workshops on it, and it is phenomenal for reprogramming our neural pathways. As I said, how many of you reacted when I said where the hidden belief meets the affirmation, that's the conflict? That's what we want to do is we want to change that neural pathway in our brain. And this rounding process does it. It reprograms the brain. It begins to create a new neural pathway as we're doing that. Now, when I do this process for myself, I will spend probably 3 or 4 hours on one of these drawings here, one of these doodles, if you want. Really rounding the corners. And every time I feel that tension come inside of my body in any way, I find another corner to round. Every time I feel like something, one of those hidden beliefs rearing its ugly head to try to take over my spiritual truth, I find a corner to round. And then the next part of this, which is the fun part where you get to use the crayons, if you look at the bottom of your paper, I've found some ideas that the different colors often represent. So, for instance, green is often used to represent prosperity, abundance. You know, we're in the green. We're fully in green. You know, that the color of our money is green. Trees blossoming is green, full of abundance. Grass, you know, all of the things that we see in life that are green around us. If you look out here, these bushes, that certainly represents abundance with all the leaves that are on it. So green often represents abundance and prosperity. Blue can symbolize calmness, stability, trust, ideas like that. Yellow, that's a color of optimism and joy. Red may be energy, action, confidence. Purple can represent wisdom, wealth, financial empowerment. And orange, my favorite, can represent creativity, enthusiasm, and a positive relationship with money. So what you want to do here, you can see some examples of some that I've colored here. What you want to do is to choose whatever one of those colors. Doesn't matter, you can choose one to begin. You can choose, and you want to color in sections. Now you can make it all one section, or you can make it striped, or you can make it checked, or you can put spots in the middle of it, or you can blend colors together. There's no rules about this. The color is actually representing what you want to bring into your life here. What is it, those positive feelings that you want to bring into your life there? And spend time purposely coloring them. And again, this is something you could spend hours on and really sit with that process and allow it to work through you to begin to shift that. The other thing about colors, which I've discovered, Not only do they represent different ideas, but if you choose colors you would not normally choose, the neural pathways get created quicker because you're breaking out of the norm. Neural pathways like the normal. They like to follow that same little track. But if we start to shift things purposefully in us, then the new different pathway has to find a different pathway to reach the end for there. So choose your colors. You know, if you don't like purple at all, I suggest you color with purple first. But who doesn't like purple, really? Yes. It's on the bottom of your sheet. On the bottom of your sheet tells you exactly what they are there. And you know, other colors, I just happened to find 6 colors because I found boxes of 6 crayons, which worked out well. We give you 1 more minute to color, and then don't worry, you get to take the crayons home with you so you can continue to color. If you were in Las Vegas, I'd say take them home with you, but don't leave them in your car. No, we bought a new building. Yeah. There are 2 churches still. Ours was over by the university, but we sold it during the pandemic and bought a brand new building and had it custom built for us. So we have a beautiful inlaid labyrinth in our sanctuary floor. It's gorgeous. If you have a chance, come and visit us. So. Okay, I know we could continue on with this part forever because this is where it really gets fun. But as I said, take your crayons home with you. Take your papers home with you. You can take the black marker if you need one of those. If you don't have one, take it. I bought these for you guys to have. I do want my clipboards back. I use those a lot, so we do want the clipboards back. If you can actually put them, where do you want them, Veronica? Do you want them to leave them on the chairs, or yeah, just leave your clipboards on the chairs. And if you don't want your pen or your crayons, leave it there too. That's fine. Okay. You have your facilitators have a homework card with a quote on there from me. So the quote I chose was, "Abundance flows from within. As we mindfully shift our beliefs, release old fears, and align with our true worth, we open the way for prosperity to manifest in every area of our life." I really believe this is the truth. I mean, we have to look at what it is that's hiding the truth for us. So we have to look at our hidden beliefs. They have to be examined, or at least brought up a little bit. We don't have to dwell in them, but we have to acknowledge them. We can't change anything we're not aware of. And so we need to begin to do that. And then I've given you one little a morning and an evening contemplation here to use to help you throughout your week to just remind yourself of this, to activate this feeling that you got while you were doing the neurographic drawing here to help you remember the truth for yourself. You're welcome. Abundance. So, Reverend Bobby, when we talked about this months and months ago, asked me if I would be willing to do this as a book study. And so I created what I call an experiential book study. So it's kind of like the combination between a class and a book study. And so it's 4 weeks long. Each week we will there are 4 sections of the book. Each week we will take one section, and I will do one of the activities with you on Zoom. So you'll get the experience of that if it's one of those that may be a little challenging for you to understand. So I choose one, we go through it together, talk about it, and then I ask you to choose one for yourself to do throughout the week. And because you could take and do a different experience every day, but sometimes it's better if you dive deep into one than to skim the surface of a bunch. And so choose one of them and take that with you to do throughout the week, and then we'll come back on Zoom and we'll talk about it. And so it's a 4-week class. I believe you guys set it at $128 for the 4-week class. You do need the book. I have the books for sale today. They're $15, and $5 for every book goes to Pacific Coast Center for Spiritual Living. So $5 for every book I sell today, and I'll be at the back table there to sell them after service. So if you want, though, it is available on Kindle, and it's available on Amazon as well. The church won't get, the center won't get part of that, but you will get them if you buy them from me today. And so, I've kept this very affordable. I'm making like $3 on each book. So I keep it very affordable for a little bit of a revenue generator for the centers and something for us to use. And so there are 31 days of activities, plus I put some bonus activities in there too for you so that you can do that. It's illustrated with my art because I'm a mandala artist. So I draw, every morning I draw as a spiritual practice. And so all of the illustrations are in there are things that I've drawn, and part of them are some of the activities that we're going to do. So coloring a mandala is a spiritual practice. There's a mandala there for you. So you'll have that as well. And I look forward to having you in the class. I will be having some people from other centers in the class too, so if you'd like to meet some people from outside of your own particular center, that'll be wonderful. It's going to be on Monday evenings in August from 6:30 to 8:30. I always say till 8:30, but that's because people don't mind if I let them out early, but they really don't like it when I keep them late. So usually it's about 90 minutes. But like I said, if I tell people and I want to keep them after the time, they don't like that. So anyway, and just a couple of other things. Whoops. If you're interested in anything, I've got some other things happening coming up. I'm doing a new class on radical mindfulness for self-compassion. Again, it's a 4-week class starting on September 3rd. And I also do a women's retreat every year in Las Vegas. So if you're interested in that, my website is there. I have, if you don't want to get a book today, I have some bookmarks back there that have all of the contact information on there, so you can and QR codes to register for the class or to buy the book. Take your stuff with you. Continue working on that. See what shifts in you. I've done this with people on lots of different topics, and it's been amazing the shifts that they've had in their consciousness. I want to thank you all for having me here. It has been wonderful.
Awesome. Wow. Was that fun? Yes. And so I love the neuroplasticity and the changing in our neural network. amazing. So in the front, in the entryway, you'll be able to register for her class. We'll have Berta is back there to help register. And also you'll be able to sign up for the practitioner sessions that we talked about for Practitioner Sunday next week, so you can sign up for both of those. And so we'll have registration in the back right by the books. So thank you again for being here. Yes, yes. And speaking of prosperity, it is time for us to do our beautiful time of giving. And so I think we have ushers here to help with the baskets. We have Florette and we have Diane. Okay. Diane. And so Gina, who else do we have here for Gina? And is it Janet or Dawn? We can pass the baskets. And also there are other ways of giving through Venmo, through Zelle. And let us stay present here as we say our affirmation. Our affirmation is above us here. Let us say this together. We give with open hearts to this community with shared commitment and purpose. As we give, we prosper, cultivating growth, connection, and shared abundance for all. And before I'm going to put the QR code up for evaluation, and also your facilitator has a copy of the QR code. But before we do so, I want to pray us out in gratitude for our workshop here today. So let us take a collective breath right here and right now. Just in this moment of absolute gratitude for our workshop time together, for our beautiful, beloved Reverend Laura and her contribution to our consciousness. Yes. And I'm so grateful for all who have participated, for every single person in your group who has shared vulnerably. That makes this workshop even more special and conscious, and helps us to grow and unfold into the next greatest expression of ourselves. So thank you for this time together. We release this prayer as we say together, and so it is, and so it is. Yes, thank you, thank you. And the QR code for our evaluations, please, and have a beautiful and divine week. Take care.